Exactly at 10 a.m., unexpected news came from one of the famous hospitals in Seoul. Jungkook, who was reportedly about to undergo a minor surgery, was suddenly caught in a situation that left his family and fans around the world bewildered. A reliable source said that during the first 35 minutes after entering the operating room, something happened that made Jungkook's family react hysterically. But what exactly happened? According to one eyewitness, who is also a staff member at the hospital, there is a strong suspicion that the medical procedures performed are not in accordance with safety protocol standards. We heard screams from inside the operating room. "Something very unusual happened," said a nurse who chose to remain anonymous to protect her identity. This statement certainly raises more questions than answers, and no one expected that this supposedly smooth operation turned into a nightmare. Jungkook's family, who were waiting expectantly outside the operating room, began to sense something was wrong when a doctor came out with a panicked face. One of the family members, unable to hide his concern, shouted, "What happened to Jungkook? Why do you look confused?" Information received from internal sources mentioned that an administrative error caused Jungkook to almost receive the wrong procedure. Yes, you heard right. An operation that was supposed to be performed to solve a small problem turned out to be almost diverted to another, much more risky procedure. How could a mistake like this happen in a well-known hospital with an international reputation? The atmosphere was even more tense when Jungkook's mother reportedly fainted because she could not bear the anxiety. His father, who usually looked calm, was seen hitting the table saying, "This can't be allowed. How could you almost risk my son's life?" Fans who heard this news through social media immediately created the hashtag Justice for Jungkook, which immediately became a trending topic on various platforms. Meanwhile, the hospital seems to be trying hard to calm the situation. However, their efforts only made matters worse when their initial statement sounded ambiguous and full of contradictions. "We apologize for the inconvenience, but we assure you that our patients are safe," a spokesperson said. This statement, of course, raises the question, if it is really safe, why does the family look so hysterical? In a short time, the media began to hunt for more information regarding this incident. One of the astonishing facts that came to light was that the doctor who was supposed to handle the operation had just completed a grueling night schedule. The allegation that fatigue is one of the main factors behind this fallacy is now a hot topic among medical professionals. How can a doctor who has worked more than 12 hours without a break be allowed to handle a patient as big as Jungkook? Asked a health expert in a television interview. Not only that, the initial investigation also revealed a communication error between the medical teams, which led to the initial procedure being almost switched to a completely different course of action. Over time, speculation arose that the hospital was trying to cover up this incident in order to preserve their reputation. Some observers even suspected an attempt to silence witnesses who knew the details of the incident. Is this true? And if so, how far will the hospital go to protect their good name? When a former hospital staffer was interviewed by local media, he said, "This is not the first time a mistake like this has happened here." However, since the patient this time is Jungkook, they won't be able to hide it just like that. This statement adds a new dimension to a story already rife with controversy. In the midst of all this drama, the good news has finally come. Jungkook is reported to be in stable condition after the surgery finally went as planned. However, the trauma experienced by his family and also his fans around the world cannot be ignored. Fans who have been known to be loyal turned to attack the hospital with demands that they provide a complete clarification of what really happened during the tense 35 minutes. "We want to know what happened. Jungkook is ours, and we deserve to know the truth," wrote a fan on Twitter. The case also opens a wider discussion about safety standards in hospitals. If a celebrity of Jungkook's class can experience something like this, what about an ordinary patient who doesn't have as much influence or support as him? We cannot imagine how many lives may already have been harmed by negligence like this. A health activist said in a statement, the South Korean government is reportedly overseeing an investigation by the authorities. However, Many feel that this measure is not enough to guarantee that similar cases will not occur again in the future. Although this incident ultimately did not cause fatal repercussions, many felt that an apology alone was not enough. The public demanded that the hospital take full responsibility for the negligence that almost cost the life of one of the world's greatest idols. With the international media spotlight now on the case, it is hard to imagine that the hospital could have escaped without serious consequences. However, only time will tell if Jungkook and his family will get the justice they want. Will this be an important moment in the reform of the South Korean health system? Or will it just pass by, like many other controversial cases? The world is now waiting with bated breath, looking for answers to the questions that still hang. What really happened in those 35 minutes of mystery? Currently, public pressure on hospitals is growing. However, instead of giving an adequate explanation, the hospital chose silence. This policy has sparked even more speculation, even from medical professionals. An independent investigation report released a few hours after the incident revealed another astonishing fact. There was a significant discrepancy between the data recorded in the hospital documents and what actually happened in the operating room. We found that some of the patient's documents, including Jungkook's medical data, did not match the actual procedures performed, said an investigator, who asked not to be named. This indicates the potential for data manipulation or, worse, dangerous systemic errors. If this proves to be true, this incident is not only a matter of malpractice, but also a serious violation of the health law. Not a few suspect that this incident is related to the commercial pressure facing the hospital. One of the health industry observers, Dr. Kim Hyejin, revealed that many large hospitals in South Korea are now prioritizing financial benefits over patient safety. When a celebrity like Jungkook comes in for a medical procedure, they see it as a marketing opportunity, not as a health responsibility. This is a reflection of the rampant capitalism in our medical sector, says Dr. Kim. If it is true that financial motives played a role in this incident, the impact will be much broader than just the reputation of the hospital. The public is now beginning to question whether the health system in the country really prioritizes patients or only pursues profit. Not only BTS fans in South Korea, but ARMY around the world are now raising their voices. The hashtag Justice for Jungkook even became the #1 trending on Twitter globally, with millions voicing their anger at what happened. What happened to Jungkook is a symbol of how our society often ignores human values for the sake of profit, wrote a Twitter user from the United States. This shows that the case is not only a personal matter for Jungkook and his family, but also touches on larger issues, such as medical ethics, justice, and transparency. Fans have also started to raise petitions asking the South Korean government to conduct a thorough investigation into the incident. To date, more than 3 million signatures have been collected, signaling how serious the public is in demanding justice. In an exclusive statement given to the media, Jungkook's family finally decided to go public. "We feel betrayed by the institutions that are supposed to keep our children safe. We will not be silent until the truth is revealed," said one of the family members in a tone full of emotion. This statement illustrates how much trauma they have experienced. As a family known for their strict privacy, their decision to speak publicly shows just how serious the situation is. Many are wondering, will Jungkook's family take the case to the legal realm? Well-known South Korean lawyer Park Ji-young gives his analysis. If there is evidence that the hospital deliberately covered up errors or did not comply with standard procedures, then this could fall into the category of serious violations of the law. They will not only face charges from Jungkook's family, but also from the government. However, the biggest challenge is to prove these errors in court. In previous cases, large hospitals often had strong legal teams to protect themselves. Is it possible that this case will be an exception? Given such an intense media spotlight, a number of celebrities, both from Korea and internationally, began to give their support to Jungkook. His BTS bandmates have also posted emotional messages on social media, expressing how worried they are about the incident.